We're going to call the meeting to order at 6:30 on November 5th. We're going to begin tonight's meeting with an invocation by Apostle Tommy Brown with the New Disciple Worship Center, and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, to be led by Commissioner Fitzpatrick. If you'll please rise.
Gracious Father, we thank you, we praise you, and we bless you, and we thank you for this city. We thank you for our commissioners. We thank you for our mayor. We thank you, Lord, for our law officials, and we ask of your help. We ask that you would lead and that you would guide in this time, Father. We trust you, we love you, and we ask your blessings upon this meeting this night. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Which one of us is that?
Apostle Brown, we appreciate you taking your time to come and give the invocation tonight. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll go to agenda approval. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda? I do have one addition under announcements. If you get to under announcements, item B, I need to make an announcement about a Thanksgiving food drive. So, Commissioner.
Yes, I'd like to add to either the next meeting or the first meeting in December. I'd like to add to the agenda a process for selecting and asking for people from the city to put their name in who may want to be a candidate for the CRA seat that may be open. I'd like to put that on the agenda.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pull, out of the consent agenda, I'd like to pull 6D, D as in dog.
Okay. Got it. Anything else?
For informational reasons, I'd like to pull 6B.
6B?
Boy, yeah.
B like
Baker.
boy. Any others? Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
I have a motion is second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Show the motion is unanimous. We'll move to informational items by members of the City Commission. I'll start tonight with Commissioner McCray.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'd like to just tell everybody thank you for the Pirate Fest. I went down on Saturday. I got stuck with somebody, I really didn't care to get stuck with, but I had a nice time not looking to my right. But it was it was an excellent job, well done. And we should be, commend those who went far and beyond just to make Boynton look the best that we are. Also, I went to 2 ribbon cuttings today at 1 o'clock at the Hyatt Regency here in our city. And I like the way they had 2 together because guess what? I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. It's not often that we do this, but with permission of the city manager, I'd like for Collins to come down front, please. Hello, that's you.
You ask for?
He's coming.
Oh, Colin.
Utilities Director.
I was worried you were calling Jeff.
You could have came close to my side over here. I'm not going to throw anything. Sir, the reason I had you to come down front was at our last commission meeting, Minister Bernard Wright stood up and he had a great concern. And that was about the water that was being settled over at the Rahman Head Start Daycare Center. Our kids' lives was in danger. Parents' lives was in danger because it was standing. I made a mention that I was going to go over the next day and meet with the director, which I did. When I came back to the city, you met me and you told me that it was already taken care of. Sir, a lot of times, you all get beat up on as department heads. We get beat up on a lot of time as being, elected officials. But anytime anybody do anything good, I feel like you should get a pat on your back. So if I don't pat you from here, I pat you before I walk out, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's not me. It was our staff that took care of it. So,
Thank you.
Job well done.
My Jeff?
Yes. I'm sorry.
I accept. Having been at the Pirate Fest the 2 days, I was taken back by a woman who works for the CRA. Her name is Amy Zimmerman. I don't see her here, so I'll direct it at our director, Vivian Brooks. You notice I said Vivian, I'm sorry, instead of Vivi. I found this woman, I'm lost for words, and that doesn't normally happen with me, as you know. 24/7 working, doing her utmost, being here, there, and everywhere to make something which became a true success for this city. I just want to praise her. I think we all, just not as elected officials, but citizens of Boynton Beach, the time that these people, and it's not just her, put into this and make it right. I mean, I spoke to people, citizens, I spoke to the vendors, and the applause should be overwhelming. So, Vivian, I ask you, since Amy's not here, please pass my message. I thank her for making us all look that good, and thank you.
Vice Mayor Casello?
Yes, thank you. Just an observation. Yesterday was Election Day, as you all know, and I spent many hours out there yesterday at some of the different polls supporting my favorite candidates. And the observation I made yesterday was I noticed that a lot more of families, like the parents, were actually taking their children into the polls. I was really pleased by that, to teach them the ins and outs of voting and how, the civic duty, and they should be commended for that. So it's just an observation I made. And also on November 13th, we're going to be attending the Community Caring Center's Great Gatsby Gala held at the Benvenuto Restaurant. So I hope all can attend. Thank you.
Commissioner Fitzpatrick?
Since the last meeting on October 22nd, I attended the League of Cities meeting in Lake Worth. October 23rd, Beirut 1983, Forever in Our Memories at Veterans Park. October 23rd, Boynton Beach Women's Club meeting, Pirate Fest. October 27th, American Legion meeting. And October 29th, the mayor's welcoming of the Sister City of Lakai delegation, and October 30th, the Sister City reception. There's one thing I need to bring up in the paper. It was on October 29th, the article saying land sale for park in trouble in Boynton. And there was several statements by commissioners that concerned me. And I believe these statements are counterproductive to the city in several ways. First of all, it is personally eroding my trust and confidence in my fellow commissioners. The Lake Park and Lake Ida Park potential connection with Lake Ida Park Dog Park is popular with residents in Chapel Hill and Gulfview Harbor. Business interests may question the ability of the City Commission to make an agreement and keep it. Also, they may question the apparent inability of us to grasp a great deal. And finally, the County Commission has materially extended a hand of friendship to Boynton Beach. And a majority of our commission is making comments about spurning this $400,000 gift. Boynton Beach will likely be in an austerity budget mode for a number of years because of the Great Recession. During this time, there will never be excess money to bring every park up to the highest standard. But that is not a reason to spurn this acquisition because of the attributes of the deal and location. A lakefront gateway to Lake Ida Park, an existing 189-acre fully developed park for which the citizens of Boynton Beach will not have to pay one extra dime to maintain and enjoy. And as mentioned, the price of the land is 20% of a legally binding offer of a developer. This park is not going to be a never land 50 years down the road, as stated by one of Boynton Beach's more late arriving residents. Proof of that can be seen when exiting this chamber and looking across the parking lot. Kids Kingdom was my idea, conceived when I saw a community-built playground at a family reunion in Belfast, Maine. That playground is estimated at a value of $450,000. It is only an estimate because the cash outlay by the city was under $50,000. Half of the value was volunteer laborers. $200,000 in material costs came from private donations and the discretionary accounts of two county commissioners, Maud Ford Lee and Mary McCarty. Mayor Taylor had a lot to do with that. Something similar is going to happen with the Lake Ida property. If the adjacent landowner will not give permission to cross his land, then a volunteer flotilla will launch from Lake Otter Park with coolers and generators to do the work on a site plan for native trees. I did not want to bring this up yet because I did not want to give the ghost of Chuck Magazine a second heart attack, but we are going to put chainsaws in the hands of volunteers. Secondly, while Boynton Beach will have to put in some money, there are multiple sources of potential funds. Many Delray Beach residents are very interested in this project and will lobby their commission to help. Furthermore, the Metropolitan Planning Organization has rewritten their allocation ways of allocating funds, and local projects such as this will be eligible. And even the First Amendment to the state constitution passed yesterday may be a source. Also, I know a private businessman in Boynton Beach who has offered to help raise private donations in five-figure range. So we should make this deal happen, and I would appreciate the support of the rest of the commission. Thank you.
Manager, do you have anything from staff? From the staff? Anything to commit? Okay. I don't have anything else either, so we'll move on to announcements.
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, before we go to announcements, I do apologize. Minister Wright, I do need to tell you, sir, I want to publicly thank you for your concern and your input. It was my oversight. Thank you for caring for our little ones here in the city of Boynton. Thank you.
Okay, under announcements, beginning Thursday, November 6th, and lasting from 4 to 6 weeks, the city will be constructing the sidewalk entries into City Hall, as well as nearby handicap parking spaces. This project will bring the city into compliance with Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, current standards for entrances, and allow the city to continue to receive grant funds from the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. During construction, there will be no pedestrian access to the two front doors of City Hall. Pedestrians will be guided to the west wing and the police department entrances. Temporary handicap parking spaces and ramps will be provided in the City Hall parking lot. The south half of the City Hall parking lot will be available for customers, as well as the east half of the parking lot across the street from City Hall. The utility payment drop box will temporarily be moved across the street. That's already been accomplished. Employee parking will be available in the parking garage. The west half of the parking lot across the street from City Hall and at the new parking lot east of the parking garage, additional phases of the work, such as stripping and signage, will require these parking lots to be closed for a day at a time during November 27th through November 29th. So there'll be a little bit of difference there as you approach City Hall, but we're trying to give you a heads up on that. And it looks like it should be finished by the end of the month, so will bring us into ADA requirements. In order to accommodate these ADA requirements, some vegetation will be removed from the front of City Hall. So you'll notice some of the trees and shrubbery that used to be there will be removed. The second announcement is the City of Boynton Beach is partnering with the Boynton Beach Caring Center to collect food for Boynton Beach residents that otherwise would not be able to have a nutritional Thanksgiving dinner. There is a yellow recyclable bin in the lobby of City Hall, and we encourage the residents to drop off cans of beans, cranberry, yams, and pumpkin mix, bags of rice, boxes of stuffing mix, bags of celery and onions, packets of gravy. If you prefer to donate cash, it can be given to the city manager's office, and they will buy the necessary items. The deadline to donate is November 17th. We did this last year. It was very successful, and we're just going to try and double our efforts this year. So if you want to feel good on Thanksgiving Day about sharing, you'll be able to deposit some of these items in the container in the lobby of City Hall. Thank you for your generosity.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question about celery and onions. Y'all have a place, city manager, to keep those if somebody dropped them off?
We'll find a place.
Good, okay.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. This takes us to the public audience. Anybody wish to address the commission items not on the agenda may do so at this time. We ask that you give your name and address for the record and make your comments in a 3-minute time period.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Vivian Brooks, Boynton Beach, CRA. I just want to give a public shout out to the city manager, Lori Laviere, and to the chief, and to Pam from Risk Management, Jeff's Liver Goods Department, for all of their help and cooperation to put on Pirates Fest. We couldn't have done it without them. They were phenomenal. It was a phenomenal team effort, and I think anyone who came out to the event really experienced that team effort, and I want to say thank you to all of you. Really, we appreciate everything you do to make this happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just, see, Ms. Brooks there just reminded me, I might want to announce to everybody that the CRA meeting next week will not be on Tuesday because that's November 11th, Veterans Day, so
Yes.
it'll be moved to Wednesday.
That
No,
is a
Monday,
holiday.
Monday, right?
It's going to be moved to Wednesday,
Oh, Wednesday. Oh, I
just
thought
like
it
this
was
meeting tonight.
Okay, it'll move to
Yes.
Wednesday, so the 12th.
Yes, so you'll remember, Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. Mark Carey, George 248 Main Boulevard. And I just want to take a moment. The city, on Saturday, we said farewell to a dear friend of the city and a dear friend to the community with the passing of Elliott Williams, a very involved community leader for many, many years. Elliott was a former chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. Elliott was involved in our Red Hot and Blues Festival. Elliott was on special events committees, and whenever asked to step up, he always stepped up. And there were well over 200 people there, and he was involved with this city. He was a huge supporter of our art and public places in our parks and recreation program. And he always helped mentor young business people. And as one of those recipients of his mentoring, I want to tell you, we lost a good man, and this city lost a good man, and I just wanted to take this opportunity. I knew many of you knew him, and it's a loss for our city, but his memory and his influence on many people is his legacy. Thank you.
Thank you. We ask everyone to keep him in their prayers. Thank you.
I'd just like to say, Mr. Carey George, I'm glad you brought it to my attention. This is my first time hearing about Elliott. He was a class before me, and I will be praying for the family. I'm kind of shocked right now, but I know Elliott personally. Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, my name is Joy Harris, and I'm here with Xavier Foster and Nicolo Filipe, and we represent the Boynton Heat Travel Basketball.
Your
We were
address,
here-
please.
My address is 15 Tara Lakes Drive East, Boynton Beach, 33436.
Thank you.
Okay. And we represent the Boynton Heat Travel Basketball. We were here 2 years ago asking for your sponsorship, but we're here tonight on a greater concern for the youth and their safety. In the past 3 weeks, we have witnessed 2 shootings, and I mean, the boys actually saw the guns in the parking lot where we practice, you know, on our way home, and we're just asking if we could have some security for the boys. I have 10 boys that I'm responsible for, and we're there Mondays through Fridays, and I'm sorry to say we haven't seen any cops on site of late. It used to be where we used to have security there, but we haven't seen anything. And the boys would like to say something too. Go ahead, Nico. Good night.
Hello, everyone. My name's Nico. And
Speak into the mic so we can hear you. There you go.
I'm not going to bite.
my name's Nico, and I'm a player for the Boynton Heat basketball team. I'm 12 years old, and I go to Don Estridge High Tech Middle. And we've been out there, and it's like not the best environment for children like our age, because there's like lots of smoking and lots of cursing and yelling and stuff like that. And I just wanted to let you know about it, and yes.
Thank you.
My name is Xavion Foster. I go to Don Estridge Middle as well. 13 years old, and I'm on his basketball team, and we witness a lot of different situations.
Thank you. Where do you practice? Where is it you say you practice in that?
Yes, Teasel.
At Hester?
Center,
At
yes.
Hester? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll definitely pass your concerns on to our police department and see if we can get some, a little visual out there. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, I want to thank y'all for coming down, and that jogged my memory for something else. We have the East Boynton Wildcats here in our city. And I forgot to make mention, but at the Miami Dolphin game, was it on Sunday? Because I don't like the Dolphins,
Yes.
but anyway, yeah. Hold that against me. On Sunday, the East Boynton Wildcats, they was that great little team that led them out, and they came from the city of Boynton, and we should be proud. Thank you.
Thank you.
Herb Suss, 1711 Woodfern, Boynton Beach. Tonight I have a special presentation. Very rare that I do this, although we had a rookie commissioner. Tonight I want to introduce an MVC to add to his, that'll be a major commissioner, the most valuable commissioner, and that'll be Joe Casello. So you made it.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know I was in the running, but thank you.
You're the most but you're the most valuable. So
Does that
you
mean
know.
he gets an A?
Okay. The other thing I want to bring up with, I will be attending a meeting in a couple of weeks about Ebola, and when I find out, I will report to the audience and to the commission about the goings on about Ebola. The other thing is, I've been invited to join a climate change organization, which I'm attending a meeting next Tuesday. It'll be a 2-hour meeting, and hopefully I can get back and give Carice some information and maybe the commission, because global climate is here. In fact, the Pentagon in D.C. warns that climate change is a danger to our security. That's the first time they've done that. Another thing, NASA has seen our aquifers and also the water tables low. And this is all related to global change. If there's anybody that doesn't believe in it, like our governor says, I'm not a scientist. Well, you don't have to be a scientist to see that the seas are going to rise pretty soon. And after 2050 or 2060, we're going to be on borrowed time. And everybody that has grandchildren should start getting after the commission, getting after the elected officials, and do something about climate change. Because with this incoming government, no comment. I think everybody knows what it is. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address commission items not on the agenda? Seeing none, we will close the public audience. Under administrative, there are no appointments to be made this evening, no applicants, so we'll go to the items pulled from the consent agenda. Item B, I believe, was pulled by Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
This was just for informational reasons. I was wondering if staff could explain a little bit. Sorry, Carice. I forgot to give her the heads up. Oh, did you? She's good on her feet.
Carice Lejeune, Assistant City Manager. Yes, what this is, we're asking the City Commission to approve and adopt a resolution saying that we adopt the Palm Beach County Local Mitigation Strategy. Every 5 years, the local mitigation strategy for the county is updated, and we've just gotten a letter of approval from the state that our updates were approved, so now it's up to every individual city to adopt this strategy. By being a member of the Palm Beach County Local Mitigation Strategy, that has many benefits for us. Number one, we fall under the umbrella of the risk hazard analysis that they do countywide, which gives us strategies for mitigating hazards and vulnerabilities to our community for an array of topics. It also helps to lower our CRS rating, our community rating system, which has to do with premiums for flood insurance. So we are able to maintain at this point a 7 CRS rating, which allows our residents to have a 15% reduction on flood insurance for those who are required to carry it because they are in a flood zone. This year's resolution is slightly different from last year's resolution in that in the first whereas of the resolution, it says that because Palm Beach County is susceptible to a variety of natural, technological, and human-caused disasters, including but not limited to severe weather, hazardous material incidents, nuclear power plant emergencies, communicable diseases, domestic security incidents, as well as climate change impacts and sea level rise that causes increased inundation, shoreline erosion, flooding from severe weather events, accelerated saltwater contamination of groundwater and surface water supplies, and expedited loss of critical habitats. This is the first year that climate change and sea level rise has been identified as a hazard vulnerability for Palm Beach County, and as such, there are mitigation strategies that are in the LMS that we can adopt as a city, as the Commission sees acceptable to our comprehensive plans and other regulating policies.
Ms. Lejeune, I had a question. The 15% that we're eligible for discount on our flood insurance policies, do we need to furnish that to our flood insurers, or is that automatically taken up by them?
No, if you're required to purchase flood insurance, or if you decide to voluntarily, let your insurance broker know that your community is a part of the CRS, the community rating system, and that we currently hold a rating of 7.
So we do need to let them know according, and
Yes.
if you have a mortgage, you probably need to have flood insurance. Most banks require automatically, if you have a mortgage, that you will carry flood insurance. So what do we do? We need a copy of this resolution or something to send to the insurance company?
No, but I believe through the building department, they can receive certification that we belong to the CRS. I can double check on exactly where the main point of contact would be for citizens and make that information available.
That'd be good, because I think the insurance company aren't going to bend over backwards to give you that discount unless you push them on it. So, thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, I'd just like to point out there's, concern about Ebola, and so this communicable disease falls under this, so we're doing what we can.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve item 6B?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, second, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, to the motion, unanimous. Item D, Vice Mayor Casello.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a couple of questions for the IT department.
Good evening. John McNally, ITS Manager.
Yes, I was reading this here, and is it every 4 years that we turn over our computers? Is that?
That would be ideal. We have between 300 and 400 PCs that the ITS department is responsible for. As you see in this purchase order, we're replacing about 55 just through the sheer dollar amount of $30,000 that we had in the CIP. That represents about 1/6 of our inventory, maybe between a sixth and an eighth of our inventory. So we do the best that we can with the dollars that we have. And over the last couple of years in leaner times, we had to trim that dollar amount down. But now we're able to put a little bit more money towards that effort and are doing some good things with that. What we do is we basically, out of these 55 machines, we'll take and deploy those to the people who need the fastest. They're running maybe some of the more graphical and computer-intense applications, so they need the newer systems. We'll take their older systems and then refresh them and redistribute those down the line, and somewhat of a cascading effect. We're able to spread those dollars and those PCs across a larger portion of the computing populace that we have for the city.
Would a leasing program make sense in this case, where technology is changing monthly, really, to keep up with the latest technology instead of keeping computers for ever how long with old technology and only can replace a handful amount of time? Would a leasing program, would that work for the city?
We've looked at that, and it's almost about the same. We've looked at the dollar amounts for both leasing versus purchase, and from some of the calculations that we did, it's almost 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. As you pay for that computer over the 5-year span versus buying it outright and having it retired after 5 or 6 years, it kind of comes close to the same dollar investment.
But wouldn't we be getting more updated technology if we had a leasing, like as far as the turnover?
Well, we'd still be leasing it for 4 or 5 years and still have that same refresh type of a cycle.
So what do we do with 4 or 5-year-old computers once they've reached their life cycle?
As the oldest computers get phased out, we send those to Palm Beach County's surplus, where they palletize them and auction them off, and then the dollar amount, I believe, comes back through a financial transaction from the county back to the city.
How much do we get back on that transaction?
Probably not a lot.
No, minimal. Do you know, Tim, offhand? No, we'd have to look.
So what you're basically saying, the leasing program really don't make sense?
Not from the calculations that we've done. We continue to look at those at different times just to see if our calculations are still accurate. We're kind of in with this purchase here. We have the need, and we'll hopefully move forward with this if you recommend so. We can take another look at that during the next cycle if you wish.
Yeah, just to take a look at it, just to apples and apples. Let's do some comparisons here.
Now our softwares are purchased separately in our systems, and we have our license agreements, and we've just recently upgraded all of our operating systems throughout the city. So that, we were able to keep up a little bit better on the software side of things as the needs arise. This is just flat out computer juice.
This is just the hardware.
Yeah, it's not software.
Thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me, while you're standing there, this is not the first time that it has been brought before this commission, but years ago, because I was sitting here and we tried wanted to go the leasing program, and we still heard the same story that leasing is not the best. So you can bring it back for us, but I've been down that road before.
Is there a motion to approve item
So moved.
6D?
Second.
I have a motion, second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So the motion unanimous. That takes us to item 7, bids and purchases over $100,000. Proposed resolution 14-111, approve an annual service agreement with Motorola, Inc. in the amount of $112,571.40 for the continued maintenance and repair of the city's radio telecommunications system as a sole source vendor, and authorize the city manager to sign the agreement. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So the matter is unanimous. Item B, approve a 1-year extension to the cooperative bid to furnish, deliver, and discharge quicklime with a 2.31% increase to Hoist North America. This product will be ordered on an as-needed basis for the period of December 16th, 2014 through December 15th, 2015. The anticipated expenditure for this product for the renewal term is $315,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion, second. Discussion?
Yes. I'd like to ask the city manager, since we are awarding this at a cap of $315,000, and I did set a cap, I'm just saying if it comes in, you'll bring it back before us?
Oh, yes, if we
Thank
exceed
you.
the PO, we do.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So the motion unanimous. Takes us to code compliance and legal settlements. Approved negotiated settlements in the amount of $20,000 each. Total amount of settlements is $40,000 in the case of Sylvia and Robert Silverberg versus the City of Boynton Beach. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Go
You
ahead.
know, the citizens, they don't have the backup, but I'm just saying when this was brought before us, these two individuals was asking $100,000 apiece, and I'm just saying it needs to be noted.
Thank you.
Also, Mr. Mayor, it also be noted the default or what caused this accident here that has been taken care of and is fixed, and so hopefully it won't happen again.
I'd just like to say Commissioner Costello stole what I was going to say, but I just like to say the new stairs look very good, and Kevin Ramsey did a good job.
There was a fall that occurred in the Civic Center at the Stages Civic Center. That's what happened. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So the motion is unanimous. Approve the negotiated settlement of $40,000 in the case of Yamani Laurent versus City of Boynton Beach. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like for the public to know that this individual came before us and was asking almost 3 times this much, and I'm just saying, you know, for us to settle with the price like this, I know people are saying, why are you all settling? Sometimes it's the best way, the easiest way, you know, to get the best for our bucks, and that's why I'm in favor of this one.
Mayor, I'd also like to add that I just talked to Jeff Livergood, and I still have some concerns when I come in here off a rainy day, and we see an occasional bucket still out there, floor wet, caution signs, but he's assured me we're on top of it, and it'll soon be taken care of.
Yeah, this was a case where a lady fell in the lobby,
Right.
but we have a lot of leaks in this building, unfortunately, and that's why we're talking about a new city hall at some point.
Not
when we
all
can
water
pull it
either,
off, so-
Mr. Mayor.
That come from?
I had a motion second.
It's still for
Any other
discussion. Yes. I'd just like to say to Vice Mayor Costello, I'm glad that you brought it up because I came out one day to go upstairs to the city manager office and I was like doing a maze between buckets and spills. And I'm like, whoa, you know, I didn't fall though, but I tried. I'm just kidding.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Show the motion unanimous. Takes us to public hearing. The first item has to do with medical marijuana, and seeing as that failed in the thing, I think this, I feel like this is moot to me, and yes, go ahead, Marker.
I understand that it went down. The percentage that was needed was 60%, I believe. The number was 57. Sometimes I believe things are inevitable. That's the turn of events for a city, let alone a state, let alone a country. Many other states passed this. I don't think it's moot. I think it will be on the agenda again in the 2016. So as long as there's no cost or exorbitant cost, I think we should move forward in what we were planning to do and do our homework. So if it does come before us in the 2016 election, we are prepared for this.
We actually weren't going to do anything. We were going to put it on hold to see what, we weren't moving forward. Then we were going to wait to see what happened if it passed. So that's what's on the agenda. So.
But I'm saying, I understand what you're saying, Mayor, but I'm saying that my understanding is there is no cost to move forward on this. And it is a movement. There's many things that are brought up and are defeated and then again brought up, and they can even be defeated a second time. But this is something, as I said, nationwide, many states have passed. And again, I bring up the reference to the idea that if there's no true cost to the city, then we should continue on this thought and process.
Well, I personally think we ought to just drop it for now, because I don't know how you would move forward when you don't know what you're going to move forward with, because the state has not made any conditions, so we have nothing to look into and to follow. So I think we should drop it and see what happens. If it comes up 2 years from now, we'll address it then.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we table this.
There's a motion to table. All in favor?
We shouldn't have to table, right?
Right.
Or remove?
Just remove it.
Remove from consideration?
I have a motion to remove it from consideration. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Most second. Any other discussion?
Yes, I'd just like to say that Commissioner Merker said that there's no cost, but I'm just saying if we utilize the employee's time, there is a cost. I'm just saying, it might be minimal, but there is a cost. I'm just saying anytime we tell staff to do something, we do have to pay. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed.
Show the motion passes 4-1. On the city manager's report, discussion of the red light camera program. I would just like to, city manager, I'm going to let you make your comments, but I just want to, for the record, comment that I did meet with Greg Parks, who is a person with the American Traffic Solutions, to discuss this issue. So that's on the record.
Thank you, Mayor. Our resident expert, Assistant City Attorney Shauna Bridgman, is going to bring you up to speed on the recent 4th DCA action, as well as some other pending litigation.
As we indicated in the memorandum that we sent to you, there was a recent ruling in the 4th District Court of Appeal. It's the Aram case. That case is not final, and the City of Hollywood was the appellant in the case, and the City of Hollywood is going to be filing a motion for rehearing. So there has been a lot of chatter in the news and online about the city's program not being able to proceed, but that is actually incorrect. At this time, there is no final order in place which impacts the city's program. And so thus far, the police department has been moving forward with continuing to issue notice of violations and citations for red light camera violations.
Mayor, let me just add that, as I pointed out at the previous commission meeting, the procedure that the city of Boynton Beach uses for the issuance of a citation is distinguishable from the manner in which the city of Hollywood did it. So we don't even think that the opinion, the Hollywood opinion, is binding on the city because our fact situation is distinguishable. In one of the cases that moves forward at some point, we will probably be in a position to establish that to a magistrate that would hear the red light camera proceeding. Our recommendation is simply to stay the course at this point. There'll be a lot of events occurring within the next number of weeks or months with respect to the appeal. We'll keep you up to date and advised. There have been some federal court cases filed in the nature of class actions. The city of Boynton Beach is named in, I believe, at least one, but possibly two of those. The city has not been served at the appropriate time. If the city becomes a party and is served, we'll meet with you behind closed doors to talk about the procedures and tactics of dealing with that litigation.
Thank you. And I'd just like to add, too, I had also met with the city attorney, and one of the things that we did understand was when Hollywood actually, when the judge ruled for Hollywood that made that judgment, the people at Hollywood did not really tell the judge what their procedure was. They really told them nothing how they were going about it. So the judge really didn't have much option except to say, well, that's what I'm going to do. So they did a poor job of explaining how they handle the tickets down in Hollywood. Also, I want to advise that if you've read the papers are telling you, I think, that a lot of different cities have eliminated or stopped their red light cameras. It's not true. It turns out the only people that are not operating the red light cameras now are Palm Beach County. And the reason the county aren't doing it is because the day before, either the day before or the day after this Hollywood thing happened, their contract expired. Their contract ran out. So they just said, well, we'll hold off. We ain't going to renew the contract until we see what happens. So all the other cities, Boca, Delray, Boynton, West Palm, they're still operating the cameras. And some other information I think would be good to share with you, that crashes have decreased 55% at monitored intersections. That's here in this city. There have been 0 fatalities at monitored intersections. The red light violations have decreased 60% per installed light safety camera location. 90% of the people who have been ticketed do not get a second ticket. So we're getting some safety education there.
Right.
There's always that 10% that do.
Mayor,
Well, let me finish, please. 63% of the people who got violations in Boynton were not residents of Boynton Beach. So these are people that are traveling through here. And so I just thought those were interesting. Also, Boynton Beach, of 5 cities, Boynton Beach, Delray, Green Acres, Boca, and Lannis, Boynton Beach has the highest percentage of violations. We have 37% of violations of those 5 cities, the highest. The next closest one was Delray at 15. So we still have some people that need to be educated on the safety issue. So I'm in favor of maintaining this. And one other thing I want to say, that even if we wanted to say we're going to stop them right now, we have a contract that's good through 2016. So we'd have to continue to pay regardless, even if we'd eliminate it. So I'm in favor of maintaining it as we wait for anything new developments.
I'd like to say something. The key element of the lights is a word called safety. And as the mayor just articulated, look how wonderful it is. Less tickets, less punishment. And as I look at the listening audience, and I have to look at you all with a straight face, yes, yours truly was one who was ticketed. And yes, I paid. And I'm still in favor of the fact that safety comes first, especially thinking of the lives of children, let alone our loved ones. So I also concur that this seems to be, and we will find out, how good this truly is.
Commissioner McRae?
Thank you, sir. I'm also a part of that percent that had to pay. But also, Mayor, I want to tell you, thank you for letting me know that it's still being enforced in other cities, so I'll watch how I drive going through there now. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Now, can you give us the sequence, once that picture is taken, how it goes through the system before we actually issue?
Yes, I can. ATS has set up a 2-step verification process. So what happens is the data is captured here in Boynton Beach. It's transmitted electronically to Arizona, and there's a 2-step process in Arizona. The first person in Arizona who is an ATS employee reviews the information, pulls the driver's registration information from the Florida Department of Motor Vehicles, adds that information to the case, and reviews the city's business rules questionnaire to confirm that a violation did in fact occur in the manner that the city instructed ATS to evaluate the violation. After that point, it goes on to a second ATS employee who again reviews the violation to make sure that a violation of law did in fact occur, and they also do so in compliance with the city's business rules questionnaire. At that point, if they determine that the violation did occur, they send the data back to the city of Boynton Beach electronically. It's in a queue, and then the police officers here in Boynton, they sign into the ATS computer system. They go through the queue, and they review each individual violation to determine whether, in fact, a violation has occurred. At that point, the officer has the option to either accept the violation or reject the violation. There are plenty of circumstances where the officers reject the violation. They determine a violation of law did not occur. And then there are circumstances which lead to the issuance of a notice of violation, and then later on a uniform traffic citation.
Did you not tell me the other day, and I mean that
I did.
It goes to Mexico?
I spoke with ATS today to get more details, and it does not go to Mexico.
So it doesn't go to Mexico?
No.
Okay, can you break down the pay structure as far as what the city actually receives on that, and our vendor receives, and what the state receives?
I don't have it, but I think
Well, maybe
does.
manager could do that for us.
Let's see, the red light camera ticket cost is $158. The state gets 83 of that, which is about 52.5%, and the city retains the remaining $75.
What's the vendor make on this?
The vendor gets a flat rate of $4,850, I
We
think.
pay $72,900 a month in lease payments on, I believe, if I'm counting on the intersections with the multiple cameras, or 15 cameras.
So we pay $72,000 a month for rent for the cameras, for leasing the cameras, I guess. And what's our bottom line per month that we take in for income?
I don't have that. I don't have that broken down. It's about, with the cost, we set up a traffic safety fund to separate out and identify the costs that are attributable to the program, which means staff. We have 3 staff members hired in the city, 2 CSOs and a records technician or magistrate clerk. Their salaries are charged to that fund. The lease payments to ATS are charged to that fund, and the special magistrate expense is charged to that fund. Our revenues coming in, we've anticipated about $1,058,500. Our expenses are just about that right now. So it's in terms of it's not costing the city. The city is not gaining additional revenue out of the program at this point, but it is reducing safety.
If this program
reducing
starts-
accidents, excuse me.
If this program starts costing the city money, would this be something we have to reassess as far as keeping this program, if it's costing us money to keep it?
I would absolutely think so.
Obviously, we're not making...
No, it's doing its job. Driver behavior has changed. Most people, and we are not getting the cases coming to us nearly in the volume we initially thought we might be. So, and it's tapered down somewhat. So
at some point-
behavior's changing. Not as many tickets are being issued.
So at some point, we could almost eliminate, if we get to that point where the accidents are down and the violations are down and all, and we're not making any money, when it turns around, we start costing us money, that we'd have to revalue the program.
Yes.
Yeah, and the commission will have that opportunity in May of 16.
Yeah,
Okay.
the contract expires in May of 16, so
Okay.
probably about 6 months in advance
Right,
of
then we'll
that.
get it then.
This
that
was
kind of
br-
analysis
this was brought up.
would be done. But could I make
This
one
wa-
additional
Go ahead.
comment? That the program was not designed as a revenue source program. It was designed as a safety program. And that was what driving. I know that the media does portray the process and the program as being some tremendous revenue-generating program for municipalities, but that's not actually the case.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to confirm, this was brought up before, the same issues. The statements were said the same as before. As our attorney just said, safety is the factor. That's the key factor. The idea that everything is being diminished is the key factor. Cost is always something you think about, but it's not costing the city. So the same rhetoric is going over and over. We have a 2-year contract. Let's finish the 2-year contract. Let's see what the state or the government has to say. Is it good or bad? And then we'll make our decision.
City Manager, you need any further instruction? That sounds to me we have consensus to continue the red light.
Status quo.
Okay. Then we go to item B. In observance of the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, which begins at sundown on Tuesday, December 16th, 2014, consider moving the second City Commission meeting in December to Monday, December 15th, 2014 at 6:30 p.m. in the Commission chambers. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The motion is unanimous. This takes us to legal. Proposed ordinance number 14-013. I'll turn it over to the attorney for...
Thank you, Mayor.
Motion to remove from the table.
So, is the motion in the second?
Wait.
Is there a second removed from the table?
Could I ask that the motion be to
Remove all three
both of
items?
the ordinances in A and B, which is the major site plan?
Yeah, could we move all three?
You said it so eloquent, so do it.
Is there a second?
Wait, excuse me, may I ask a question, please?
Well, first we got to move from the table. We can't talk
Okay,
about those.
okay.
I need a second. To remove from the table?
Remove it from the table. Seconded.
Mayor.
Second.
Vice Mayor. You got I got a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Hey.
I got 2 ayes and 2 nays. Commissioner Merker, I need your vote.
I voted.
Okay, it's 3-2 that's removed from
I'm
the
sorry.
table.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir. These 3 items, 2 rezonings and 1 major site plan modification are related. Is the applicant here? Okay. Any objection to the public hearing portion of these items under 13 legal being consolidated so that there's not 3?
No objection.
Thank you. Okay, anybody who intends to testify or speak in this matter, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. I'll start with the reading of the first ordinance. Ordinance 14-013, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida regarding the application of Ron Rowan of High Ridge Housing LLC to rezone a parcel of land located on the northwest corner of High Ridge Road and Minor Road as more fully described herein from Planned Unit Development PUD with master plan for 110 single-family homes to Planned Unit Development PUD with master plan for 184 apartments Imagine Charter School and athletic fields, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date. I'll read the next ordinance as well, but each of these items will have to be voted on separately. Ordinance 14014, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida regarding the application of Ron Rowan of High Ridge Housing LLC, amending Ordinance 02013 to rezone a parcel of land located on the west side of High Ridge Road, approximately 0.25 miles north of Minor Road, as more fully described herein, from single and two-family dwelling district R2 to planned unit development PUD with master plan for 184 apartments, Imagine Charter School and athletic fields, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you. I think does the applicant wish to make any comments at this time? Anybody in the audience? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you get up. Would you like to make any comments?
No,
Okay.
just we'll respond to any questions.
Anybody in the public wish to address this ordinance? Seeing none, I'll return to commission for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion is second. Any other discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would hope that the commission here would reconsider their first vote on this. We've had a discussion, the many problems that this development would bring into the community there, from safety to overcrowding and such. As this commissioner's district, I would hope you respect my opinion on this. I understand the area. I know the problems that this is going to cause. I am pro-development, believe me, but we need smart development. We cannot shoehorn a development of 184 of rentals in this stamp-size parcel of land here. We've got to take into consideration on that parcel now they're asking to PUD, we now have a charter school with over 1,000 students in it, which wasn't there before. These are all common sense things that tell you that this is the wrong location for this type of development. I would ask that you reconsider your first vote on this and vote no this time.
Anyone else? Hearing none, please call the roll on ordinance number 14-013.
Gray.
Aye.
Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
No.
Mayor Taylor.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Casello.
No.
Commissioner Merker.
Yes.
The vote is 3-2.
Ordinance number 14-014 on second reading.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Anybody in the public wish to address this ordinance? Seeing none, go ahead.
Herb Suss. You know, I been giving this a lot of thought. Not until tonight did I hear what, and the MVP Commissioner Casello hit the nail right on the head with a hammer. There comes a point you can be pro development, but he put it wisely. This is a no. This is absolutely horrendous for the citizenry in that area. And I'm asking the commission to rub it out, period. Don't do it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, any other discussion? Please call the roll.
No.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Casello.
No.
Commissioner Merker.
Yes.
Commissioner McCray.
Aye.
The vote is 3-2.
Item B is approve a major site plan modification, MSPM 14-002, to allow construction of 184 multifamily rental units, High Ridge Landing, consisting of 8 2- and 3-story apartment buildings, amenity area, and related safe improvements at the northwest corner of High Ridge Road. Related site improvements at the northwest corner of High Ridge Road and Minor Road on 8.44 acres with a PUD, planned unit development, zoning district applicant Ron Roan of High Ridge Housing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? Anybody in the audience wish to address this item? Seeing none, please, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Show the motion passes 3-2.
Ordinance 14029, first reading. An ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 2 of the city's Code of Ordinances entitled Administration, Article 1 in general by creating Section 2-24 to be entitled Non-Discrimination Policy, providing for non-discrimination in the city's hiring policies and all other activities promoted or sponsored by the city of Boynton Beach, providing for codification, conflict, and an effective date.
Proposed ordinance number 14029 on first reading. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. City Attorney, could you tell me how this differs from the current city's non-discrimination policy?
The non-discrimination policy is not stated in the Code of Ordinances. This adds it to the Code of Ordinances. It was simply an internal administrative policy prior to this.
So this is our current policy. We're just adding it in
Yes,
an
sir.
ordinance? I have a motion and a second. Anybody in the public wish to address this ordinance? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Taylor,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Casella,
Aye.
Commissioner Merker,
Yes.
Commissioner McCray,
Aye.
Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
The vote is 5-0.
Ordinance number 14030 on first reading.
An ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 2 of the city's Code of Ordinances entitled Administration, Article 1 in general by adding a new Section 2-24A to be entitled the Boynton Beach Domestic Partnership Act, providing domestic partnership benefits for City of Boynton Beach employees, providing for findings and intent, for definitions, providing for registration, providing for termination of domestic partnerships, providing for extension of benefits, providing for codification, conflict, severability, and an effective date.
Ordinance number 14030 on first reading. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Under discussion?
Yes.
City Attorney, would you tell me how this differs from what we already have?
This is not currently either in an administrative policy or the Code of Ordinances. It expands to the class of domestic partners, the same types of benefits that city employees have for spouses and other dependents.
Commissioner?
Yes. We need this. We should have it. It's the 21st century thinking that all people are created equal and all people should be treated the same. This domestic partnership is what's happening in our society in the 21st century. We don't live in the 18th century anymore. So I brought this up initially. I'm proud that it's being brought up, and I'm hoping the vote once again will be positive, and the vote will be yes.
This domestic partnership is a fancy name for people who live together and are not married, and also it includes same-sex couples. So I'm 100% against this. I will not be voting in favor of this because I do not support same-sex couples. Any other discussion? Please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Casella,
Yes.
Commissioner Merker,
Emphatically, indubitably, and definitely yes.
Commissioner McCray,
Aye.
Commissioner Fitzpatrick,
Just a plain yes.
Mayor Taylor.
No.
The vote is 4-1.
I believe that completes any other business from the commission. Not hearing none, stand adjourned.
Thank you.